The pesky thing about life is that it refuses to remain stable for long. You settle into a routine, you hit a stride, results start rolling in, and then before you know it, you find yourself in a slump. Your progress drags, your successes break down, and the life you've worked so hard to cultivate begins slipping through your fingers. I've been there, and if you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you have been too. When you live in a world that tells you to do more, be more, chase more, it can be pretty daunting to find yourself not knowing where to start. Many of us combat this feeling by setting resolutions. Now, the issue is not the resolutions themselves, but the way that we approach them. Maybe it isn't about whether you succeed or fail. Maybe it's simply the trying that counts. The truth is, your comeback can't happen until you're willing to let yourself try. Try taking the steps forward that feel like steps backward. Try letting go of the parts of ourselves that we've grown all too comfortable with. And try accepting the parts that we're wholly unsure of. In this video, we're going to do exactly that. To level up my organization and help make the most of this comeback challenge, I've been taking a class on Skillshare. A huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I've been wanting to leverage Notion to level up my productivity for years now, and with Skillshare, I've finally been able to do so. I've been taking the Notion Masterclass, Maximize Your Productivity and Organization, taught by the incredible Ali Abdel. Notion is such an overwhelming platform, but Ali does a really great job explaining all of the different concepts in this class. One of our first lessons was on the difference between pages and blocks on Notion, and this lesson alone transformed my capability of navigating this platform. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry pros across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and so much more. This learning platform truly has something for absolutely everyone, and the first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So run, don't walk, and get started today. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is officially the beginning of September, which means it is the beginning of a new month, but also the beginning of the final quarter of 2024. If you're anything like me, you may have lost sight of all of those goals that you set yourself a mere 8 months ago. But I promise you, it is never too late to reinvent yourself, and there's truly no better time to enter your comeback era than right now. In this video, I'm gonna chat about my personal approach to this comeback prep, along with some mind-blowing concepts and foolproof systems to help us get our lives together. The layout of this comeback challenge is heavily inspired by Morgan Venn. I just recently watched her 3-3-3 series and absolutely fell in love with her approach. The focus is to implement 3 new habits for 30 minutes a day for 30 days until all of that repetition turns into a lifestyle. To me, this approach is much more achievable and inviting than committing to 10 new habits all at once, like I usually do at the beginning of the year. This all or nothing mindset is honestly just incredibly overwhelming and usually just results in a lack of consistency and then major disappointment. Now, before I get into the 3 different things that I'm going to be implementing every day, I want to talk about 3 concepts that are going to help me and you successfully complete this challenge and finish off the year the best version of ourselves. The first concept is the idea of unlocking success with small steps. It is the importance of taking long-term goals and breaking them down into small steps instead. The big goals that we set for ourselves are not going to happen today or tomorrow or next week. But if instead you focus on small, consistent actions and do those every day, it will happen. Now, later on in the video, I have an exercise that will help you not only identify those big goals, but it will also help you discover those small, actionable steps that you should be focusing on. The second concept is habit stacking. I chatted about this briefly in my previous video, but I really quickly wanted to mention it again because I truly think that it is one of the easiest ways to adapt new habits and integrate them into an already existing and reliable routine. Simply put, it involves taking an already existing habit and stacking a new behavior on top of it. The last concept is the 5-second rule or method introduced by Mel Robbins. It is about taking action within 5 seconds of feeling an impulse before your brain kills it with overthinking. It's so simple, it almost seems silly, but I think that its simplicity is what makes it so impactful. And I'm so excited to tell you more about how it's going to help us in this challenge very soon. Now that we've familiarized ourselves with these 3 different concepts, we can begin identifying our goals and then isolating the 3 habits that we're going to adapt for the rest of the year. And we're gonna do that with a little goal setting exercise. I found this on Brooke Devard's TikTok, but slightly tweaked it for the sake of this challenge. It is a super manageable way of outlining your goals without letting it overwhelm or deter you. It will only take 5 minutes and it will change your life. To start, you're going to get a pen and paper and you're gonna divide the page into 3 different sections. One for your personal life, one for your creative life, and another for your professional life. Next, you're gonna set a timer for 5 minutes and brainstorm different goals for each one of those categories. I want you to write down anything and everything that comes to your mind. Once the 5 minutes are up, you're gonna look at all of your answers and then simply highlight or pick one from each category. These will be the 3 goals that you'll focus on for the remainder of this year. Now, using the first concept we talked about, we are going to identify the steps that we need to take in order to accomplish those goals. So for example, if I want to read a self-help book every month, I obviously need to first buy or get or borrow a self-help book, and then I need to make time to read that bought or borrowed self-help book. After identifying these first steps, I then want you to take another minute to write down the top reasons holding you back from having ever accomplished this in the past. I've tried to read self-help books while in bed before falling asleep, but I quickly discovered that after a long day, the last thing I want to do is challenge my mind even more. I either zone out or become sleepy almost immediately. To combat this, the second concept that we previously talked about comes into play. In order to remedy your objections, use the help of habit stacking. I can more easily turn my action of reading my self-help book for 30 minutes every day into a habit of mine by stacking it on top of something I already do daily. I begin every day by journaling in the sun and can easily spend another 30 minutes reading my self-help book. So considering that concept, here is a brief breakdown of my other 2 goals and the actionable steps that I'm going to take for 30 minutes every day for the next 30 days. I really want to do the splits, and I'm going to work towards that by taking the time to stretch after I work out. On days where I don't work out, I will do this after I walk Cooper. I also want to complete my personal trainer certification ASAP, and I'm going to do this simply by studying. I work on my computer every single day and will dedicate the first 30 minutes towards my CPT as soon as I sit down to work. Our last concept comes into play for those days where life just happens and things seem to get away from us. As mentioned previously, the 5-second rule is a self-management technique that helps strengthen an impulse to move from thinking to action before objections prevent this. In simpler terms, if you think about doing something, count down from 5 and physically move, or your brain will kill the idea. For example, when I'm enjoying a nice hot shower, I often think about all of the benefits of cold exposure. As soon as I have that thought, I count down from 5 and then I reach for the temperature knob and turn it down. Mel Robbins herself says that your feelings don't matter. The only thing that matters is what you do. When you can't seem to be better than your excuses or bigger than your fears, count down from 5 and see what happens. Now, before I end this video, I really want the both of us to take a second to appreciate just how far we've come. It has already been a year of wins and losses, trials and tribulations, but I'm so incredibly proud of the both of us for taking the steps towards an even better version of ourselves. I always say this in my spin classes, but it is most definitely applicable right now. The hardest part by far is showing up, and just by clicking on this video, doing these exercises with me, and taking the initiative on entering your comeback era, you have done exactly that. Before you head out, please share your goals and habits with me in the comment section down below. I would love nothing more than to be your accountability buddy, and I will make sure to also share my personal progress with you guys every step of the way. I appreciate the heck out of you, and I will see you all in the next video.